Awesome. All right. So we are joined here by Lad. And Lad, if you could just kick us off by telling us your first name, where you live, and what you do.
It's Lad. I live in Colorado. I have 3 days employed now with Cornerstone Building Brands. It's the largest manufacturer of exterior building supplies. And I'm super excited. So I am the service operations manager. So all post-sales service activities, I supervise all that for the Western US.
Awesome. Great. And congratulations again. We'll talk more about it in a minute.
Thank you.
But to help set the stage for us real quick, would you mind just saying and telling us where you were in your job search before you came to CareerAmp? So how long had you been looking? What was that process like? And how did that kind of drive you towards CareerAmp?
Yeah. I was in a low place, right, to start off. So I was laid off for the first time in my career right before the holidays. It was the beginning of November. It was, you take it, it's hard not to take it personal, but then you see, it's a business decision, right? And business is, as much as it is very personal and very emotional, there are, business decisions that was part of that. So I was unemployed beginning in November. I knew I needed help right off the bat. I did not wait very long. I wanted to set myself up because I wanted to get back working as soon as possible. That being said, it took me 3 months, just about, right? I just got a job in the beginning of February. It's a rough time to go through the holiday season, December, end of year, for companies to say, you know what I want to do? I want to bring on somebody new. And so that was certainly there. So I was looking for someone to, what I liked about CareerAmp when I was looking was certainly the resume help, the LinkedIn help, and then this new crazy thing to me, which was Sidedoor, right? It was just new, right? I was like, I don't know anything about that, but sound very interesting. I just thought it would, I certainly wasn't going to turn anything down, right? That's we did some voodoo things, right? And like buried some ginger out the front door because my wife told me that. You know what worked, AJ? It was Sidedoor, it was CareerAmp, it was the ginger. I like where we are today.
All right. So it sounds like, and if I calculate this correctly, I think you joined about 11 weeks ago. Does that sound about right too?
That's right. Yeah,
okay.
That sounds right.
Okay, cool. So 11 weeks, new offer accepted, started a new job. Really excited for you. That's super rad. Kind of taking us back maybe to your first few weeks inside of CareerAmp. What was something that just kind of light bulb was like, oh, this is great, or this is what I was expecting, or even a surprise?
One of the ones that I was surprised at is, and I got coached back into this reality, is what I wanted, right? And so there was some structure around like, and it's chaos, right? I just got laid off and like I've been crying in the corner and I'm emotional wreck, right? What do you want, right? You are great. We talked about this a little bit. You are great. You do have a skill set. You are awesome. What are you awesome at? What do you want to be? What are the things that are important to you? Because as a person, as an individual, we forget about all that stuff. And like, I'll just take whatever, right? Whatever it is, I'll just take, and through the process, but also initially early on, I think that helped me in that final role when I was in the best place you wanted to be, right? I had 2 offers, right? They were really good. And it was on me to pick, right? Like, whoa, when did this happen? Right? That's crazy. And it's crazy to think that that's where I'd be, in that early part. And the one that my coach helped me with was, hold on, lad, when we talked 11 weeks ago, you told me bam, bam, and bam. And you're kind of siding towards something else. And it by no means did she like twist my arm and force me into this role. She just, said like, just don't forget, this is what you told me was important from the beginning. Yeah. And it ended up being absolutely the right guidance because it helped me look critically back at the total package, total what was offering, and help me make that decision.
That's so great, Lad. And I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's a really intentional part of the program. And we bring people to create the good options rubric because in this exact scenario where you have 2 offers, 3 offers, and you're trying to decide like, hey, what do I want? And what do I need to negotiate on? Bringing you back to something before you had numbers in your face is so important because yeah, that's awesome that you pulled that out. Cool. Great. Okay. And then my next question is around your biggest win. So what would you say as a result of going through CareerAmp, your biggest win?
We didn't talk about this specifically, but I was born and raised like through Amazon and was a bar raiser. And so went through the STAR method and SOAR is very close, right? And I think it's the same principles, but it is like, tell me why you're awesome. Oh, I'm just awesome, right? Or tell me about a time, those type of things, right? It builds that discipline in there. Like interviewers want specifics. They want the detail. They want those type of things. And it was the rigor around going back through, right? I've always viewed it as important, but again, through the process, you kind of lose sight and your head starts spinning elsewhere, right? Like, give me data, support it with details, those type of things, following that process. I'm big on, if you do the work with an interview prep, then it's just a game, right? Like I have my 4 or 5 power stories, right? Those strong ones, and I'm just going to sucker you into like, oh, you asked me this, I'm just going to give you that, right? Because that's my power story, and I make sure to give it to you. Like, and they're like, I don't know if that answered it, but it was awesome, right? So okay, yeah, and so I think getting back to those type of things, that was really critical for me.
Awesome, great. Any other like favorite pieces of the CareerAmp program that you wanted to call out?
The coaches are great. I talked about that. Mine specifically was Rachel, and just was all about helping me, right? Like if you're looking for that person that's just going to tell you everything you want to hear. I just apologize. It's a little late. That's not what you're going to get. They are trying to help you maximize anything and everything. And then I have no idea how to negotiate, right? So the negotiation piece, you know, at the early point, just like, give me an offer, AJ, I'll just take it, right? And no, like, remember, you're awesome, right? Remember, you're awesome. You're worth more, and it's totally okay. And frankly, you should go back and say, hey, look, I'm coveted, right? I've got another offer. This is what I want. And so I was able to do that, negotiate up to more than I was making before being laid off. Like, just, yeah, just awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah, I remember when we were I was seeing some of the communications fly back and forth between you and Rachel as you were negotiating. And I think if I remember correctly, it was like 150% you got an increase to your original offer that they gave you, and then like 120% above what you were making before you were laid off. Is that right?
Yeah, and like, you know, proud, getting me, right? I really wanted to share that, right?
And
Because I was proud of
you.
it, right? You know, and so I, you know, made sure to work that into our conversation. But I, you know, I was very proud of that piece. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very good. Good for you. And congrats on putting in all the work and showing up and getting them to understand how amazing you are. And obviously it worked. So I congratulate you. Okay, last question here. So if you were talking to somebody or someone's watching this and they're on the fence on whether or not they want to join Career Amp, what would you tell them?
I think Career Amp is aimed to maximize your potential, right? It's very difficult to do this alone. Like I said, there's a lot of emotion that goes into it, and the right approach is really to take, you know, a company is going to take a business approach with you, you know, and it's very hard as a person that cares about people and has, you know, faith and trust and you know, loyalty, right? I've been jaded by that piece. Like, you need to go into it with a business and professional approach, and Career Amp really helps you sharpen in on, for me, what was not natural, right? Those are not natural things for me, and they've got nothing but professionals in this field, and so it allows you to be awesome at what you are awesome at, and they take care of the rest, and put you in a really great position, hopefully to be in the same boat as me, right? Who's couldn't be happier, you know, after everything's said and done.
Amazing. Well, congratulations again, Lad. Super thrilled for you.
Thank you much.